From Maine and Gervais, this is ABC Columbia News.
Good evening, I'm Ben Hoover.
And good evening, I'm Alicia Barnes. Happening right now, Richland County officials are updating us on the flooding situation. We're going to go there live right now.
They are not quite ready yet. We'll wait to hear from Sheriff Leon Lott. In the meantime, hundreds still unable to return to their homes and tens of thousands still without water.
Yeah, this afternoon, Governor Nikki Haley updated the state's recovery efforts.
Right now, we do want to go to our Beth Rousseau. She's here in the studio with us live from she has the latest actually from the Columbia Canal situation. Update our viewers on that, Beth.
Hey guys, here in the newsroom, Ben and Alicia, Governor Nikki Haley says that just because the sun is shining in South Carolina doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. While we begin the long road to recovery, the governor says she will not stop until everything is back up and running, regardless of the cost. As water levels recede, Governor Nikki Haley says you can start to see the true devastation left behind.
It is hard to look at the loss that we are going to have.
8 of the state's 46 counties, including Lexington, Orangeburg, and Richland, have been declared federal disaster areas, allowing individuals to qualify for FEMA assistance. And that number is expected to grow.
This is about addition. This is not about subtraction. So every county has the ability to add on to that list. That's what we want you to know.
The governor says FEMA will be in the air and on land in coming days, assessing areas and collecting the necessary data to add counties to the disaster declaration.
My goal is to make sure that anybody and everybody that is in a county has the availability of resources that FEMA will provide.
FEMA is encouraging anyone who's been affected by the floods to register for assistance, regardless of the county they live in.
We can provide housing assistance, that's housing repair, replacement. We also have other needs assistance that we can provide. Let us tell you that you may not be eligible.
According to FEMA representatives, the majority of the assistance provided will be a 75-25 split with 75% federal share. However, in some cases, individuals could receive 100% assistance. Help, the governor says, will be necessary as the state works to rebuild.
We want everybody to relax in the way that let us do our job, let us continue to do what we need to do to protect you and go forward from there.
Now, to register or to get more information on FEMA, you can go to disasterassistance.gov. You can also contact FEMA at 1-800-621-FEMA. Additional information is also available and can be found at scemd.org. For now, live in the newsroom, Beth Rousseau, ABC Columbia News.
All right, thank you, Beth. And at this point, we're going to be standing for Sheriff Leon Lott to update us on what's going on out of Richland County. We're going to go live right now to the Richland County Sheriff's Department, where we understand that he is about to take the podium.
Not quite yet on that, Alicia. In the meantime, let me update viewers. I had mentioned something about the city canal, the Columbia Canal. The city engineer just updated the public. You do need to know this. Time is of the essence, the engineer says, as they work to plug the breach in the Columbia Canal to get these repairs underway and maintain the level of the canal so that raw water can be brought into the plant and into the distribution for the city. 750 one-ton sandbags are being brought in to help make all of this happen. We'll, of course, have more from that here coming up on the News at 11 and in our cut-ins throughout the evening. In the meantime, I think we're ready for Sheriff Leon Lott.
Not just quite yet. We understand that he is still waiting to come to the podium. Is that correct, Rob?
No, he's not ready yet.
Okay, let's go to cleanup efforts are getting underway in Forest Acres, where many homes were submerged, as you saw by the pictures of the flood waters. Many areas, though, still shut out tonight.
Marvin Beach is live near the Gills Creek Bridge. Marvin, we're also being told to remind folks to stay, that bridge right there at Gills Creek, Forest Drive, is shut down, and it will be shut down for a while now.
That's right, Ben. It is still closed right now. I'm going to step out so you can take a closer look right now. National Guard troops have had it blocked off for all day here. They say it is too risky to drive or even walk on. Meanwhile, we've been checking in with neighbors who say they have little left after this flood.
My brother-in-law opens the door and says, "You've got 30 seconds before we're not going to be able to get out of here."
Jennifer Fogel says family members got her out just in time from her home on Lakeview Circle.
By then, the water was waist deep inside the duplex on me. It was up to my neck. out here.
I've never seen anything like it. It was coming so fast and moving so fast when we were trying to get her out. I didn't know how we were going to get back to the car. I was afraid it was going to be overhead.
Fogel took us inside today where floodwaters left carpets soaked and pine needles scattered. Her sister and volunteers helped her salvage whatever she could.
It's destroyed, and everything she had in there, bless her heart, destroyed. And I just thank God she's alive, and so does she.
Meanwhile, students spent their day off volunteering at the shelter at AC Flora High School. They helped unload water and other donations.
We went around collecting donations from people we know, and we're here helping today because, as we can see, there's quite a lot of people who have been affected quite a lot.
And that's what's really been encouraging, Ben and Alicia, at the shelter and here in the neighborhoods around the Forest Acres area. Lots of volunteers, lots of people helping people clean up after this flood. For now, we're live in Forest Acres. Marvin Beach, ABC, Columbia News.
Marvin, thank you so much for that report tonight. Now we're going to head out live right now to the Richland County Sheriff's Department, where we understand officials are about to address us and give us an update as to where we are in terms of Richland County.
State Guard that's going to be there to make sure that we have a safe environment for people to sleep, to stay, and also for them to pick up the water. One thing we're having problems with is just nosy people. We still have too many people out here who just want to be spectators and go out and see the damage. We are having roads that are continuing to fall in. We have bridges that are still unstable. We don't need people just to be riding around just to be looking. We have a curfew that starts at 12 o'clock midnight tonight. The last 2 nights, it's been pretty good with the curfew, but what we've seen today is that we got more and more people out. We extended the curfew until 12 o'clock tonight to give some businesses the opportunity to open, people to go out, maybe get something to eat. But come midnight tonight, we don't want anybody on the street unless they're an emergency worker. We cannot have people out tonight riding around. We do not need people going into neighborhoods just looking and finding out what we've got going on. So 12 o'clock midnight tonight, this curfew is going to be strictly enforced. We also have people now who are coming out and trying to do scams, taking advantage of the victims that we've got. We have people trying to go and say we're going to do cleanup, we're going to cut trees, we're going to do stuff like that. We're cautioning our citizens to be careful, be very wary. If it is someone who's just coming up with a truck and a chainsaw, be very careful. We've got scams going on. There's a lot of law enforcement out there. Please ask somebody in law enforcement before you hire anybody or pay anybody to come in and do a cleanup, particularly if they're asking for money up front. If they're asking for money up front, then that is a true indication right then that we got a scam going on. We're going to try to prevent those things. You can call 911, you can call local law enforcement, you can find a cop somewhere, but you need to have these people checked out before you hire anybody to allow them to come in your house, come in your yard, or do anything. And please do not pay them up front. Again, the curfew is going to start at midnight tonight. It's going to go till 6 o'clock in the morning. We are currently not doing any evacuations whatsoever. As neighborhoods are coming back, the water's going away, neighborhoods are coming back, people are starting to go back to their homes. That's fine. We just want people to be careful when they do go back to their homes to make sure that we don't have any electricity, any power that's exposed. We're asking people to be very careful. Our shelters are still open. We're going to maintain those. We're going to maintain the water distribution places. We've got more that are starting tomorrow. So we're almost out of the rescue mode, and I think we're starting to get into the assessment and the recovery mode. And that's going to be a long recovery. We've got a lot of damages, a lot of serious damages that it's going to take us a long time to get fixed. But what you're seeing is a very coordinated effort, just like what you see behind me in the State Guard uniforms. We needed these people. We needed these soldiers to be out here. We needed the MPs to be out here to help us out. We made the call. The governor and adjutant general approved it, and we've been able to have him. They've been set up since hour one, almost out here. They've been 24/7, and they'll be out here maintaining this command post and the people they've got supplementing us until we don't need them. We're making plans right now to at least carry this thing at the minimum through Saturday. It may be longer than that, but we've got manpower coming in from about 14 other different sheriff's offices throughout South Carolina. I've contacted all these sheriffs, and we've set up a schedule for them to bring in additional people, and they're going to be supplementing us coming in at 6 a.m. in the morning and working a 12-hour shift and then be relieved by another sheriff's department personnel. They'll be partnered up with State Guard personnel, and they'll be at various locations. So it is a very coordinated effort, but it is still dangerous out here. We have got too many people who have no business being out on the streets. It is very dangerous, and we need people just to stay home unless it's emergency. But at 12 midnight, this curfew tonight is going to be enforced more than what we've done the last 2 nights. Again, we just appreciate the word you getting out to our citizens. 911 is still the best number to call if there's anybody got a problem. We have plenty of law enforcement. I just left the city of Columbia talking with Chief Holbrook. We're making some plans for tonight to have additional personnel come in from other state agencies, and we're going to supplement each other and put out a big force tonight. We're going to be out in force tonight. Glad to answer any questions.
Sheriff, what's the worst area that you've seen or heard about as you guys have been out in the community?
Probably the Forest Acres area. Forest Acres is bad. Right on down to Trenham Road, right on through. Lower Richland is still bad. We still have some areas that we haven't even got to yet that we've been able to search and check the way we would like to. So we still got some bad areas. We still have a lot of water. The water, we're standing dry here right now. The sun's shining. And I think that is contributing to a lot of people saying, hey, this thing is over with. It is not over. The sun's shining here, but we got a lot of places the sun's not shining right now.
Sheriff, can you clarify, you said that you weren't doing any more rescues, but there are some areas that you haven't been able to get to?
We're not doing any evacuations at this point. We're still doing search and rescue. We have got strike teams out.
Okay, that was the latest from Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott, the situation in the Forest Acres area, the Gills Creek area.
That's right. And just to recap just a little bit here, he said that we're almost out of the rescue stage. We're now into the assessment and recovery stage. And we have a live reporter there, Grace Joyle. She's going to bring you much more coming up later on in this newscast. For now, we're going to turn things over now to the Lexington County area, where officials are there also moving to the recovery and assessment mode after suffering major damages.
ABC Columbia's Jennifer Reddy tells us the story of one business owner as she addresses the damage.
Everything's gone. History's gone.
Total devastation as Beth Sanders gazes at what little is left of her business.
Don't know where to go, don't know what to do.
Sanders' shop, Moonlight Distillery, is one of the businesses at the Lexington Old Mill that was hit by catastrophic flooding after the dam behind the mill broke. Sanders says it was early Sunday morning when she got a call from the security company informing her the front door was compromised. But it wasn't until the second phone call that she knew something more was wrong.
When we actually found out what was going on, it was no building left.
To give you an idea of just how severe the damage is, if you look over my left shoulder, you can see that wall. Officials tell me it is about 30 to 40 feet high, and as of Sunday morning, that's when the water came surging over. And if you look a little further to my left, you can see the gaping hole that water left.
This is the area that we are calling ground zero for us. This is where everything piled in on us.
Mayor Steve McDougall says in the initial hours, parts of the mill were submerged in 4 to 5 feet of water, and several roadways were closed due to unsafe infrastructure. But as flood waters recede and things dry out, McDougall says the town is focused on the cleanup efforts to rebuild what was lost. A process Sanders is also eager to begin.
So, yeah, we want to try to start back over.
From Lexington, Jennifer Reddy, ABC Columbia News.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. We have an identity on the latest lives that have been claimed by the flooding.
Richland County Coroner Gary Watt says 30-year-old Samson Pringle was found on Trenham Road this morning. Watt says 82-year-old Richard Milroy was found deceased in his car on People Street. Both men had been reported missing. The deaths bring the total number of lives lost in our state to 14 since the weather emergency was enacted.
All right, it's very sad news to pass along to you tonight. We do have, though, some good news on the interstate this evening.
The folks at the Department of Transportation say that I-26 is now open at the Saluda River. That was closed for several hours overnight and into today. Again, it is now open. However, hundreds of roads, bridges, and highways are still closed. For a complete list, head to scdot.org, scdot.org. We also have a link to that website on our site, abccolumbia.com. You'll find it in that story.
And the city of Columbia has announced its distribution sites for fresh water. Starting tomorrow, the sites will be open at 8:30 in the morning until 6:30 tomorrow evening. The locations are Walmart on Forest Drive, Lower Richland High School, Landmark Shopping Center. There will be 2 new sites that are going to be added tomorrow as well. Those are Dutch Square Mall and the Midland Shopping Center on Two Notch Road.
And a reminder, while tens of thousands across the state continue to be without water, still more are under a boil water advisory. The city of Columbia, Sumter City and County, and Chapin still remain under a boil water advisory. There's also a boil water advisory in Batesburg, Leesville. Now, the advisory has been lifted in West Columbia and Springdale. They did that yesterday. If you're in one of those communities still under a boil water advisory, boil that water for a minute prior to drinking or cooking. Don't use any ice cubes that come from an ice maker. Now, you can bathe in the water. You can shave with it. You can wash your clothes with it. Do not wash your dishes in it until the advisory has been lifted. At least don't wash them in the sink with it. Yeah. All right. It is hard to believe, but there are some people who would take advantage of people affected by the flooding. You just heard the sheriff mention it.
Talking about scammers that are out there that you want to be careful. Also, Attorney General Alan Wilson is asking that you be on the lookout for price gouging. Now, that's when a business offers a product like water or a service at a much higher price than usual following a disaster. And Wilson says if you see this happening, contact the Attorney General's office, and you can email pictures to info@scag.gov, and you can tweet examples to SC price gouging, or you can just call the number that's listed there on your screen. Again, that email is info@scag.gov, 803-737-3953.
One question we've been asked a lot over the past couple of days is, how can I help?
And the governor addressed that in her news conference today. Now, she says the best thing to do is to go to the Emergency Management Division's website. That email and website address, is scemd.org. We have all this on our website at abccolumbia.com for more information there. Now, in the midst of the devastation left in the wake of this flood, the University of South Carolina has to get ready to play a football game.
But that game might not be played as scheduled. Up next, Tim Hill has an update on that story. Stay with us for more news. We'll be right back. We're back. Whether the game happens here or not, USC students will not be going to classes. USC has canceled all classes, and they've done that for the rest of the week.
That's right. USC is not alone, though. Most school districts have canceled classes for tomorrow. Also, for a complete list, please go to our website at abccolumbia.com for all of your school closings. Now, the University of South Carolina says that it's not 100% sure that the Gamecocks will play at Williams-Brice Stadium this Saturday against LSU.
Almost forgot. That's right. There is a football game to be played. Gamecocks Athletics Director Ray Tanner says a final decision should come by Wednesday night. That's tomorrow. Tim Hill joins us. Well, what's today? Is today Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
We've been working so hard.
Yes, a decision on this probably on Wednesday. Let's get the latest from Tim Hill.
Several scenarios right now for Saturday. The first being, of course, to play here at Williams-Brice Stadium. The second would be at a neutral site in Charlotte or Atlanta. The Carolina Panthers off this weekend. In Atlanta, there is a game scheduled at the Georgia Dome. Georgia State hosting Appalachian State at 3:30. A third possibility would be to play the game in Baton Rouge at LSU. Football this weekend certainly taking on a much different perspective.
What has happened here in the state of South Carolina and the city of Columbia is not football is not nearly as important or important at all when you think about it in that perspective. But as far as our situation here at Williams-Brice and the field conditions, we've been spared. There's certainly lots of concerns with our families and people who live here in the Midlands, and certainly the logistics with the highways, the stadium water situation, and other pressures with first responders and highway patrolmen and all the police that we use from various counties around the Midlands. So there are a lot of concerns and a lot of things to consider.
And consider this, a USC home football game has never been moved. Just one game in the last 20 years in the SEC has been moved. An LSU home game during Hurricane Katrina was moved out to Arizona State. From Williams-Brice Stadium, Tim Hill, ABC Columbia News.
All right, thank you, Tim. So will the sunshine stick around for a few days as the recovery effort continues?
Meteorologist Greg Armbrecht has that answer when we come back.
Well, good Tuesday evening. Hopefully you and your family are doing okay this evening, still taking it easy out there. What a nice change today to see that sunshine out there. Definitely helped to boost morale just a little bit. I'm expecting clear skies pretty much for the next couple of days, so no concerns with that. Later tonight, though, it's going to get a little bit chilly. Temperatures back lower to middle 50s, so if you have to go outside, make sure you dress warm. It's definitely going to be cooler than it's been. Again, lots of sunshine the next couple of days, and exactly what we need to hear right now. Very slim rain chances. Could you see a spotty shower late Friday night, early Saturday, but that's it. We're not expecting much in the way of precipitation with that. So again, very slim rain chances the next couple of days. It was also nice this afternoon to see the sunshine and temperatures back into the 70s, so it felt a little bit warmer, but with high pressure in control and hardly any clouds out there, just a few high thin cirrus, we are expecting these temperatures to drop off rather quickly tonight. So they'll drop about 20 to 25 degrees. So it's definitely going to be quite chilly. Tonight, 53, mostly clear skies. It's a cool night. Winds relatively light. Tomorrow's forecast, just like today. Very nice during the afternoon. Once again, we're soaking up that sunshine, so no weather-related problems. 8 o'clock, we're at 54 degrees. By the noon hour, we jump to 74. Tomorrow's afternoon high temperature, very pleasant, near 80 degrees. The wind's relatively calm as well, which is great. 7-day forecast, again, very slim rain chances across the board. Temperatures hovering right near 80 degrees the next couple of afternoons. Overnight lows not quite as chilly as tonight. Tonight will be the coldest night at 53. Every other night, upper 50s, close to 60 degrees. We hold on to dry weather into early next week. Stay with us. We'll have much more after the break.
Early in the newscast, we heard Sheriff Leon Lott say to watch out for scams in the wake of this historic flooding.
He had much more to say. Our Grace Joyle joins us now live from the Richland County Sheriff's Department with what else Sheriff Lott had to say. Grace.
Yeah, Ben and Alicia, pretty much the biggest takeaway from what he had to say was that there are no current evacuations in place. People are starting to return home. He advises that if you are one of those people, please be careful as you head into those houses where there could be electrical wires that are out, that sort of thing. Just be careful. There is a curfew in place tonight from midnight until 6 tomorrow morning. He says they're almost out of rescue mode. They're starting to think about recovery mode, but there's still work to be done. They plan to carry out this operation full staffed until at least Saturday. They actually have the help of 14 different sheriff departments. They're assisted also by the South Carolina State Guard. You can see some of the members behind me. There are 200 boots on the ground from this operation. It's entirely volunteer. They're watching every dam in Richland County extremely closely. And someone did ask a question about the rural areas of the Midlands. Sheriff Lott's advice was they're relying on people to call and report anyone who's missing. So if there is a family member of yours, a friend who you need to find, call, let the sheriff's office know, and then they'll know to go looking for them. Coming up tonight at 11, I'm going to share some advice that the sheriff has as people start the process of rebuilding. Live from the Richland County Sheriff's Department, Grace Joyle, ABC Columbia News.
Grace, thanks so much. Stay with us for more ABC Columbia News at 6.
It's all next.